So, I've been thinking about twins and souls because I don't believe in souls, but early on in my life, it was instilled in me that life begins at conception. But I just had a talk with Nick from the Pikes Peak Skeptic Society during our brunch on the 25th. And twins makes a problem for life beginning at conception and souls being instilled in us at conception, because a blastocyst can form from one egg and one sperm, make a monozygotic twin 9 days later by splitting 9 days later. You know, it can happen on the first day. It can happen almost right away. Once it's two cells, it can split. But the blastocyst can actually split 9 days later when there's multiple cells in there. So at what point then does this become a person? You know, there's the I don't believe in souls, but there's the problem of when the soul gets put in it. You know, for people who are theists. But for me, there's also just, when do you consider it a person when 9 days later it could split into two people? And if you're considering it a person as just a sperm and egg coming together, then how many persons is that? 1 plus possible 2, 3, 4? You know, if somebody was pregnant and then they were killed, and in the U.S., if a pregnant person gets killed, it can be considered a double homicide. If they were pregnant only a few days, how many murders should we charge the murderer with? Twins really fucks up the whole concept of life beginning at conception. And then there's conjoined twins, which it's one body, two heads, right? Sometimes it could be all sorts of different jumbles, but we'll go with one body and two heads. If a murderer took a knife and just went, "Gah!" and killed this live being and stabbed it through the heart, did you kill two people or one if there's two heads? If they both were sentient, speaking to each other, having conversations with themselves heads. And how many souls did that conjoined body have in it? Did it have two souls in one body? Now, genetic chimerisms that result in Siamese twins and conjoined twins, you can see those phenotypically. Like, you know that there's two bodies there. But sometimes a chimera, like a calico cat, or there have been human chimeras where, you know, even a woman has male cells in her, because there's just this mosaic pattern of cells in there that doesn't really represent the whole. You know, they can be male or female or intersexed or weird, but you can't tell. It just looks like one person. So, and it's even the case that a woman can have cells from her mother interspersed within her in a mosaic pattern in this chimerism. So then, if that person gets murdered, is that just one murder, or is it two? You know, does that person have two souls? This is weird now. So I started out with my upbringing thinking that life begins at conception, but now twins have kind of fucked all that up. And now I'm thinking. So, comment below, when do you think life starts? Or do you think that it's just, a continuous thing? When do you think that a person becomes a person?